we were going through, I had you rank based on importance moving forward for the franchise, each of the Portland Trail Blazers on roster. Your list goes as follows. Number 1, Denny Avdia, Shaedon Sharpe, then Tumani Kamara, Anthony Simons, Donovan Clingan, Scoot Henderson, Matisse Thybulle, Chris Murray, Robert Williams, and then DeAndre Ayton and Jeremy Grant at 10, A and B, because their future is just up in the air here with the organization. Here are some of the texts that have come in. Let's see. Avdia, Sharpe, Kamara equals Green, Thompson, Brooks.
Don't put Jalen Green on Avdia. Jalen, no.
Boy, those seem like far different players, but I think what he's saying is Rockets' future right there.
No, that's a pathway that we talked about that yesterday, that they're kind of going down, which is reminiscent of, look, if you talk about the Chauncey Billups imprint, they kind of invented it. The group of really good players.
Yeah.
Without having one transcendent star. Now, they were.
You're talking about the Pistons?
Yeah.
Where every single one of them was an all-star?
Yeah, well, I mean, they were all an all-star. They weren't all-stars before, is what I'm saying. You know,
yeah,
they were all all-stars because of how they played together.
Yeah. Here's one on Robert Williams. Robert Williams can't be counted on in any way. He's got to be last on the list. Second biggest failure besides too many wins this year was not moving on from a guy who only played in 25 games over 2 seasons before the trade deadline because you wanted too much. And then he gets a season-ending injury, the 26th game with the Blazers. Boy, his injury history was not good heading to Portland. It's gotten worse, and that is a really tough position to be in.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with him? Because he has 0 trade value now.
Yeah, no, everything you do with him, it has to be a recoup at this point.
I mean,
yeah, that's what it is. You're just trying to recoup value.
Sheesh.
So that's why, as much as Rob may want to try to go somewhere, I'm not reporting that. I'm saying if he does,
yeah, it's
going to be hard to find something where a team doesn't just want to be like, yeah, we'll take a flyer on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's just some mean texts that are coming in. Pretty funny. Kind of mean. All right. Moved on from CJ about 6 years too late. I got killed anytime I was trying to talk to other Blazer fans and said I thought they should move on for CJ if they ever wanted to increase their ceiling for years. And it was looked at like a pariah. Heard so many foolish comparisons to Steph and Clay. Clay was 6'8" and played elite defense. Dumbest backcourt comp ever. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that texture, believe me, you were not alone in the if you move off from CJ McCollum, but
he's right in the sense of the vitriol because I wrote about it many times.
There were a lot of people that would say, no, you can't do it, and that was wrong. I thought it was wrong then, wrong now, because how the Blazers could have made a truly difference-making trade was moving off of CJ McCollum. Yeah. And it has nothing to... It almost seems here... Well, this is actually not here. Every fan base does this, like, if you bring up a guy and you say, hey, he's the guy that can bring something back in return, it's like you're depreciating the person of CJ McCollum, right? When it should have been looked at like, no, that's the ultimate compliment that you can give a guy is that, like, no, CJ had so much value for another team, and he could have brought a piece back to Portland
that made more sense.
That gave the Blazers exactly what they were looking for, which is length. Length on the wing.
And there were multiple opportunities where that was available where length on the wing was offered.
Yeah.
That's the frustration.
They never moved on.
Here's a question for you. Is there anybody on this team right now that you wouldn't trade?
Is there anybody I would not trade?
And I'm not talking about like Jokic or SGA or Giannis or something like that. I'm just saying like in general.
No, right now, no. It depends on who it is.
I think there's only 2 candidates if you're going to say that there are.
I would say right now, if you want to look at a core of guys that because of their contracts, especially, it's Clingan, 2, and Denny. Those 3 guys are the 3 guys that I would want to hitch my wagon to moving forward, just because for Donovan Clingan, you got him on a rookie deal. He's a big. You have to match salaries to come back in a trade. You need a big. 7-footers, good to have. Tumani Kamara, just because of what he does on both ends of the floor, and then Denny Avdia, because he likes it here too. Hey, he tweeted out yesterday, I love Portland.
It's amazing what happens when the sun comes out.
Yeah.
That man got here in late September.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't seen the sun in Portland.
No.
So he's like,
well, late September. We had a good October too. It was good. It was good while
he was just
here.
getting settled in though, man. Like he didn't get to enjoy it.
Yeah. This is it right there.
Yeah.
Everybody else, well, I mean, even those guys too. I'd be like, listen. It may be 2 and Denny.
2 and Denny are the only guys that I would hard pause for.
Yeah.
And it's even then it's not a, if you're depending on the player, it's not a sheer no.
Yeah. Boy, there's a lot of folks that are. Tumani Kamara is an older, young player in the league, right? But I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing because he's dirt cheap right now as a second-round pick. And his market isn't going to be like a max deal type of guy.
No, the most money he can make, I'm sure the Blazers and Tumani's reps will have a discussion, is a 4-year, $90 million deal.
Perfect.
Which, if you're talking, again, that's the most that he could be extended for. And if you're telling me that I'm paying $23 million a year for Tumani Kamara, and the thing you have to remember, the difference between a guy like 2 and Shaden is that you're paying for 2's prime years. You're not paying for more development.
Yeah.
Like if you gave Shaden a 4-year deal or a 5-year deal next year from his 22 to 27 years, you're getting 2, if you're lucky, 2, maybe 3 years of the prime, but you're paying for more development. With 2, he is kind of who he is. Doesn't mean he can't get better, but you're looking at a guy that's probably going to be for the next 4 or 5 years, a perennial all defensive guy. So paying him $20-ish million a year under the new cap, and much like the NFL, if you pay him now, then you lock it in earlier as the cap goes up and the deal gets better.
Seems good, especially when you look at, all right, so 2025, 2026 NBA season. You are looking at Steph Curry will be making $59 million. Joel Embiid will be making $55. The 10th highest paid player in the NBA will be Bradley Beal next year at $53 million. You're looking at, you said 23 for him?
You'd say 22 and a half.
22 and a half.
AAV.
All right. That would be half of the salary of Fred VanVleet.
Yeah. Or if you want to look for the comp that the listener put in there, Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks this year made $22.25 million.
Yeah.
If I told you could have Dylan Brooks or Tumani Kamara for the next 4 years at $22.5 million, which one would you rather have?
Tumani Kamara.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to go 4 years down the road, so that'd be the 29-30 season?
And by the way, Dylan Brooks is 29 this year as opposed to 24.
The 2029 season, that will be the year Jason Tatum is making $71 million. $71 million.
And by the way, Dylan Brooks last year signed a 4-year, $89 million deal. So you're basically giving him the Dylan Brooks deal.
Yeah. All right.
Which, if you're his agent, that's probably what you're angling for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'd be good.
I mean, that to me, that's fair comp.
By the 28 season, that'll put him. He'll be in the Alex Caruso range.
And again, Alex Caruso is 30 years old.
30 years old. All right.
So something to keep in mind.